points, very tough time, and he has put across so many questions before you and which you are supposed to answer. One is that he has told you, he asked you, why are you in school if academic qualification is not required to be a successful man? And this chap was well prepared, well armed and well stocked. The next speaker is Shagarpreet, speaking against the motion.
Chief guest, members of jury and all my dear participants. Good morning to all of you. Today I am here to share my views on the topic whether academic qualification is proportional to success or not. As my dear opponents were telling you a lot in the favor of academics, but I would like to ask them a simple question. Is academics the only thing in your life then our forefathers or our ancestors were not successful in their life? Yes, they were successful and they achieved whatever they wanted. Aryabhat, one of the greatest scientists India has ever seen, never went to school. The epics like Mahabharata, Ramcharitmanas were written by those people who never had any formal education. Our own Guru Nanak Dev Ji and the famous Sanskrit writer Kalidas never had mainstream education. But were not they successful? They were successful. My dear opponents may argue with me that those were the time when the people hadn't this facility. But now I am going to give you some examples from this contemporary history. One of the greatest dramatists of all languages, none other than William Shakespeare, was not much educated. He himself had admitted that he knew little Greek, less Latin and some English, but he wrote some of the greatest plays in the history of literature like King Lear, Othello, etc. The same is the case with the great Albert Einstein, the person said to be dull by his teachers. But what does the history say? He's the most genius person ever to take birth on this planet. Look at James Watt, the person who invented power. Look at Charles Darwin, the famous author of Origin of Species. Were not they successful? They were successful. I would like to ask my dear opponents a question. Do these degrees of MBA, MBBS, CA or CS develop the virtues of mankind in a human being? No, they don't develop these virtues. The so-called uneducated, our forefathers or our ancestors were uneducated, but they had far better characteristics of humanity, mankind, brotherhood and tolerance in them. My dear opponents may say that these academics brings efficiency to the people, but what kind of efficiency is this? Is this the efficiency to make money or to exploit others or just to create the mass destruction weapons? If this is the real definition of success, then I'm happy not to be called a successful person. And you, my friends, you please be happy with your sort of success. Take example of Honey Singh. He is an uneducated person, but today, with his confidence and hard work, he is ruling the whole world. You say that genius are not the persons, but genius are not born with a tag. Every person sitting here is a genius, but the thing is that the persons who reach at the top of the world have known that they are best in this field, but all those persons who are sitting here don't think about so. They just need to polish their hard work and just need to find that one field in which they are good enough. My dear opponents were saying that why are we wasting our time in these schools? Okay, I say that I let these studies down and do farming like my father do. Then, my friends, I tell you, you take your degrees and work hard in the companies. But if I stop commercializing the crops which my father grows, then you will die out of hunger. This is an important condition. Even an uneducated person can rule the whole world. Take example of Mr. Anna Hazare. The whole India wants him. Whenever he takes breath, the whole India takes breath. And whenever he releases his breath, the whole India releases his breath. But what about his academics? For those who don't know, I would like to tell them he is below metric. He was just a simple truck driver in the Indian Army. But see today, the so-called academically qualified people like Kiran Bedi, Kumar Vishwas, Arvind Kejriwal are working him as assistants. Is this not a success? If you still think this is not the success, then I just think you are just fools. You need to redefine what success is. Success actually means earning such respect from your parents or from your colleagues that you can at a stage, you can reach a stage where you can look at your past and say that I have done this thing. Success means to reach a stage where you can say that I have done enough to fulfill my wish. My aim is not to degrade anybody, but just to highlight the truth. The genius don't think about these academics. These are only made for the average ones. So I would like to finish it by the saying, the academics are just like the toppings on your favorite pizza, but it won't taste the same pizza without the cheese. Thank you.